What's the scummiest trick you know? Social psych class might as well be called manipulation 101. Get someone to do a small favor for you, and they will like you more. The favor must be small, so that you are unlikely to be refused. The person will then have to reconcile the fact that they did something for you with the fact that you did nothing in return. Without conscious effort, they will usually come to the conclusion that they did it because they like you. I cannot cite the research, because I'm lazy, but it exists. Edit, laziness overcome. It is the Ben Franklin effect. If you want someone to do something of moderate inconvenience to them, ask them for a big favor first. Refusing this makes them feel as if they owe you a debt, so they are much more likely to comply with a smaller request. I feel dirty now. You can give the finger to firemen if they're on their way to fire. Open a bank. Earn big fees and big bonuses issuing a bunch of mortgages you know can't be paid back. When things start to go bad, threaten Congress with Armageddon and receive a huge bailout. Pay yourself another huge bonus. Finally leave just before the bank goes broke and stick the FDIC taxpayers with the resulting financial black hole. I bet you $1 I can make your tits move without touching them. Grab said tits. I lose. Hand over the dollar. Walk. Note, I'm not responsible for this. Nor would I do it. A friend of mine met his wife this way. Seriously. If you stand outside a popular bar and charge a cover, you can usually snag about $40.50 before getting chased off. Some asshole pulled this stunt at a local bar. Took $5 from me. When I wised up, I called over the bouncer and told him the guy took $10. When you are the designated driver and your passengers are really intoxicated, stop at every gas station and ask each them for money to fill up. Strip club bait and switch. Get a small baggie. Fill one corner with any sort of white powder you may have laying around the house. Baby powder. Powdered sugar. Even flour will work in a pinch. Tie the corner of the baggie into a small knot, so it looks like an 8-ball of coke. Go out to the strip club. Every time you pull money out of your pocket in view of one of the girls, make sure she sees it. Or drop it and pick it up really quick. Pretty soon you'll have a gaggle of coke whores hanging around. They'll start dropping hints, wanting to know what you're doing later, etc. etc. Invite them over. When you get home, make a big show of having lost your coke. Have a lot of booze on hand. They'll stay anyway. Shove a chunk of foam up the coin return slot of a busy vending machine. Come back a while later to collect your chunk of foam plus winnings. Ugh, some got me with this yesterday only with gum. I fingered the hell out of that hole for 5 minutes just trying to get a quarter. Walk into a bank and ask the teller you're going to receive a lot of money in the near future, and that you may like to open up a 20,000 CD or something involving a lot of money. Then teller will then, by policy, be forced to get a personal banker to deal with a high priority customer. When you're labeled high priority, they waive a ton of shit and treat you like royalty for a while. For example, my friend had over $400 of a bunch of overdraft fees he couldn't pay. I walked in the bank and asked the teller I'd like financial advice on $50,000 my grandpa is going to leave me. She directed me to a personal banker. I got to talking to her for a while about a bunch of financial mumbo jumbo, letting her think she was convincing me. I then brought up the fact that my friend's personal experiences with the bank has made me question their reputation, in spite of the fact that others recommended me here. We called up my friend, cleared his fees, and I never walked in that bank again. When you see a bum about to ask you for money, ask him for money first. A little gypsy kid asked my friend for some cash once. My friend said he didn't have any but wanted to buy some coffee and asked the gypsy kid for some money. Gypsy kid gave him cash. I figured out how to change the print queue at my school's library and often cancel people's print jobs to shorten the line and get my stuff printed out. In other news, your IT department sucks. Tell me about it. Anyone inclined to print a config page, grab the IP, and use the handy little web UI is free to do whatever they want. My favorite trick. Not really scummy but dirty. When you are in the backseat going through drive-thru, wait until your buddy finishes ordering from the girl, and when she says will that be all? Say and ABJ. Then hide so your buddy has to face her. Going through the drive-thru in fast food restaurants, they don't put cups of water through the register. Basically ask for one. They're free. Go to the pay window next and tell them you just asked for water. When you get to the last window where you get the food, most of the time you'll get the order for the person behind you which they've paid for. Lack of communication FTW. In my experience, if you ask smoker for a cigarette, they will most likely give you one. I knew a guy who would carry around a second pack with just one cigarette in it, just in case anyone asked. That is one of the scummier tricks I know of. Last week while downtown DC, a bum asked me for a smoke as I was walking to get a sandwich. I told him to pick up 10 pieces of trash and meet me at a dumpster on my way back, and I'd give him one. Sure enough, he picked up trash and I even gave him an extra cig. Get several flimsy paper or foam cups. Super glue them to your coworker's desk and fill them to the brim with water. If they don't realize the cups are stuck to the table, they will just try to pick one up normally, and water will go everywhere. Then they will either try to sponge the water out of the old ones, which will make just as much mess, or just rip them all out. Another good one with cups and water. Set up like 100 cups on a roommate's floor, and only fill up 3 or 4 in the middle with water. They will kick their way through first few, then kick water everywhere. If you're on the road and don't want to pay out for a hotel, I know that Walmart has a official policy that they won't kick you out of their parking lot unless you've been squatting for something like 24 hours. They kicked some homeless kid out of their lot a few years ago and got slammed all over the news when he turned up dead. We can print to printers in other offices at my company. I print Google Maps of directions to gay bars from guys' homes. Call Dell with an old PC on hand. Tell them it caught fire, smoked, or even shocked you. They will buy you off. At the very least, they will send a brand new $5,000 system. My buddy got a home server, a system, a desk, and free software. Over 10k worth of stuff. Not that I'm advocating this as an ex-employee. I am extremely loyal to Dell. Red Kool-Aid powder in the shower head. Your sleepy victim will frantically try to find where they are bleeding from. Crushed butterscotch Lifesavers works much better. The water comes out clear, and the more they wash, the more sticky the person gets. Ground up Alka-Seltzer will cause a false positive for coke on many quickie tests done by cops at the scene of a bust. Grind some up while wearing gloves. Place in a drug-type plastic bag. Also while wearing gloves. Plant in someone's car and then drop a dime on them. Mean. Nasty. And can result in incarceration of the individual you are setting up. For a less mean trick, take a plastic Ziploc bag without a slider and place into it 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of dirt, 1/4 cup of water, and a dead fish. Hide in a place it will not be discovered for a couple of weeks. Under a spare tire is great. Really awesome spot is above a suspended ceiling tile. The bag keeps the smell in initially. The dirt, water and sugar provide bacteria and a starter culture media. The fish will rapidly rot and give off gas, which will expand the bag and eventually pop it open, releasing the wonderful aroma of 2-week-old rotting fish in the target area. Go to the park and wait for a woman jogging. Leap out and deal her the biggest blow to the back of the head. Take her cash and get the hell out of there. For your information, after reading many of these comments, the things people do are extremely illegal and not really a scummy trick. Woman jogging, do not carry cash in those tight pants. You tricked me. Do I just leave her there? Sent via BlackBerry. When I'm playing Settlers of Catan and I have a Monopoly ready to be played, for the sake of example we'll say I'm going to play it on wheat, I first trade out any wheat I have in my hand. Doesn't matter for what, just trying to get some cards. Then play my Monopoly on wheat and get my wheat back and whatever other wheat they had. Ooh, I'm bad. If you take an extension cord and make both ends male, and plug them into sockets in different parts of the house, it can trip the entire panel. This would be on the theft side of dirty, but we used to do this all the time in high school. Go to local big box store that has a customer service counter. Egg. Canadian Tire. Walmart. Home Depot. Pick up desired item and walk to the customer service counter. Ask to return this item. They will say not a problem. Can I have your receipt? Reply yes. Just let me, oh you know what? I forgot it in my car. 1 second. And leave with the item. Also, just found out kids at my university were picking up textbooks off the shelves and taking them to the used book buyback counter in the campus bookstore. They would get 40% of the book price back instantly, without even purchasing the book. I would most likely give you one whenever, because cigarettes are like pot. If you have it, you share it. Scummiest trick I know. Take any two pool gonads, put them so they're at the edge of the corner pockets on one end, the end you break toward, preferably about to fall in. Have your victim stand at the middle of that end, and put his pointer finger on each hand on each of the gonads. Place a nickel on the spot where you would normally rack the lead ball. Tell the victim that you will shoot the cue ball at the nickel. The nickel will go one way and the ball will go the other, knocking both gonads in their pockets. The breakdown: you shoot at the nickel, dead on, as hard as you can. Choose the force based on your victim. Of course, the nickel makes the cue ball jump off the table and hit the victim in the gonads. This works especially well for young dads. Be sure to attend all the birthday parties for your kids' friends when they are in the 2 to 4 year old range. All these healthy young moms spending all their time bent over dealing with little kids. Lots of cleavage. And you get to come off as the really great dad. Not scummy. Genius. When my friends and I used to get incredibly stoned and play hockey in underground parking lots at 3 AM, we'd be thirsty, and we'd have the munchies. Solution: walk into 7/11. Take a double big gulp soft drink cup. Pop a Ben & Jerry's ice cream in the bottom. Fill the rest with Slurpee. You get a Banj ice cream, half-baked brownie FTW, and a pretty big Slurpee for under $2. Perfect for blunted hockey. Sometimes things that are on clearance at one store aren't at another, and you can usually return the stuff without a receipt and profit. I only felt a little guilty ripping $40 off Walmart this way. An even scummier variant of this is to look through the trash cans by a store for thrown away receipts. Go into the store, pick up an item that's on the receipt, and return it at the customer service desk. So let's say you buy an item and it breaks, but you don't have a receipt or it's not covered under warranty. Just go buy the exact same model item and return the old, saying it broke or it was faulty or you just didn't like it. Now you have a receipt, so no hassle. If it's the same model and not something that's checked by serial no's boxes, that sort of thing, then boom, brand new item. This just about always works. And I've saved this for situations where I've felt like I have gotten just about no use out of an item. Then the store will normally just send it back to manufacturer dependent upon the item.